Hey everyone, Kirill Shannon once again. I am bringing to you a ship build today. This one will be one of my early attempts at I'm going to call it an airplane looking build. So if we go into modify our ships, listen to Mr. Inane, and go over to the B.Bomber. This is the one I want to show you today. It's, like I said, it was one of my early attempts at a specific look to a build. I didn't really care much about the functionality. I wanted it to be a look. And so that's what we went for here. Now, with this one, we have the 33 reactor. I do have access to bigger reactors, but I wanted to make this work at the time, and the 33 was the best B that I had access to. Or A that I had access to at the time. I think there's one more that I have that's bigger, but this one will work. Actually, I can take a look. Reactors, that's a 29, that's a B. Maybe this is the best one I have available. Yeah, it is. So that's the Spheromac, and it's the DC 202, and it is one of the better A's in the game. So this is the ship. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the layer, and then I'm going to pull the layer off and get it out of the way and talk about the next layer. So on the top here, we've got a tailpiece, the Deimos tailpiece. I love my Deimos pieces. So the Deimos tail with one of the spines, the A4 spine. And it's sitting on top and behind a Stroud mid-bracer with two Nova Galactic wings. And I have weapons back here. I have two of the PB-30 electrons on the beams on the tail. These are not necessarily the best weapons there are. These are just the weapons I threw on here. They got two more PB-3s 30s on these wings, and then on the outside of the wing I got two CE-09 missile launchers. Below the tail I have some other stuff, but we're just talking about this top layer now. So then in front of that there's a Spheromac DC-202, and then the R4000 Alpha Grav Drive. Moving forward still, we have a row with four of the 3015 White Dwarf engines, pushing the speed on this to 180. These are the 180 engines. You must have Starship Design Rank 4, and I believe they are somewhere in the 20s as far as the level you have to be. In the middle between them there's a companionway, and right in front of that is the cockpit. Then I have two mid-bracers off to each side. These are the Stroud mid-bracers, and then the Nova braking engines port and starboard. And that's that layer. There is a shield generator, which is the Marduk 1040A shield generator, and that's all that's attached to that top edge. So let's pull that off. Sorry. I could not click without moving. Pull that out of the way. Looks like in the front I had some of these Hope Tech bracers. I'd actually change those at this point in time and make them the ones that look like they go together. I'm going to do that right here so you can see what I mean. But see here, they were sitting on the front like so, yeah. Well, if I pull those back, hit my thing, bring up my structures, go down to Hope Tech. Oh, we've got no Hope Tech here. Well, next time I'm in Hope Tech I'll have to do that, but there are some that have the rounded on one side and then they're flat and go all the way to the end of the 1x1, and they can be on each side, so they'll fit together like one unit. And I'll replace those with that one. So that's the top layer. The next layer down is where most of the habs are. I do have it fronted by these landing gears. So I have the NG15 landing gear port in the starboard, pointed to the fore so that you got some braking thrusters that are showing. In the front also, I have another one of the Hopetech noses and two of the portholes so that people inside can see. They don't really need to see, but there it is. Somehow people like that. And then I got a science lab, a computer core, and a workshop. So those are across the front. And then behind them, I have an all-in-one. So I've got my two stations, where all my workstations. I got a computer core to increase the number of crew. And I didn't put a, that's interesting. Anyway, then I have the all-in-one berth and then a companionway in the back. Again, this is Hopetech. I could add 500 cargo by simply changing that over to a cargo. At the time, I did not have that downloaded, so that is something I could do, and I could get rid of this and actually up my cargo by changing that. So if I take this away and change this to a storeroom, I get 500 more cargo. But I didn't want to tax the engines, so I didn't do that. Or I haven't done that. Also, I like the way this kind of slants up a little bit in the back. It kind of fits with the aesthetic as it moves down toward the tail. The tail rests on top of that, so that's pretty cool. And then I have two of these 210 H10 Atlas HE3 fuel tanks, and that is that layer. Pretty straightforward layer. Mostly it's just the habs. Got to go around front and get those other pieces. Move that out of the way. And then we have the bottom layer, and then at the bottom, of course, we've got a bay. It's the 120 LD landing bay. I like this one because it's got the ladder up. But behind it, I did put a companionway, and looking at my design proclivities at this point, I probably would make that into a storeroom because it's really going to be underutilized anyway. So it might as well be a storeroom. It makes sense. That's where we keep whatever kind of storage we need to support ship operations. And then these two behind it are simply shielded cargo. And I could, do away with some cargo space somewhere and or hopefully maybe even my engines could handle it. I doubt it because we're already down at 90 mobility. And then I have two more of the landing gears, port and starboard, and then one of the Hopetech landing gears in the back. I really like the look of that landing gear, and I try and use it where I can. Underneath that companionway, I do have the slim docker, so it is used for something. And that's the three layers of my ship. Pretty straightforward. Like I said, I try and make my ships easy because I'm not the brightest bulb in the batch, but it fits back together pretty straightforward as well. I guess this back section is a different section. As I said before, that tail sits right on top of that cargo. Then the whole rest of the ship just fits in front. And there it is. It flies pretty well too. I don't usually do flight portions of the video, but I may change that at some point. But I mean, it's got a 90 mobility, jump range of 30, max crew of 5, 1,240 cargo, which with my cargo capabilities will probably bring it up pretty close to 2,000 between myself and Sam. I don't want to change into it right now because it'll screw up my crew counts, but yeah, it's a pretty nice ship. It's an A, and as an A, it's pretty stiff out there. I mean, it kick some serious tuchus. So if you're looking for something fun, maneuverable, and fast as all get out, this is going to be the ship for you. Anyway, this is Giro Shen saying that's it for this one. Be excellent to one another, and peace out.